Welcome to today's game. This is Paul Keels, and you know how much I love broadcasting the Buckeyes, but I also love high school sports. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to set a good example and make this a fun and safe experience for the kids involved. I know this game means so much to the players, coaches, and fans, but high school sports are about much more than the wins and losses. They teach life lessons that will be with the players long after their playing days are over. Good luck to both teams, and remember to respect the game.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2 3 4, check 1 2 3 4, check 1. From the Beehive on the campus of Brecksville-Broadview Heights High School, the Eagles Sports Network is on the air. Hi again, everybody. Chris Mendoza here. Glad to have you along as we get set for JV basketball between your St. Edward Eagles and the Brecksville Bees. St. Ed's coming into this game with an overall record of 17-2, coming off of a 79-42 win against the John Hay Hornets, and the freshman team just beat the Bees 52-51 in a last-second thriller. However, for the Brecksville Bees, they're coming off a win 37-36 over Nordonia High School. Both teams very talented and very offensive, skilled, as the Bees only scoring 37 points in their last game, but they have the ability to score more than that. Brecksville, a part of the Suburban League, part of the National Conference in the Suburban League, as their varsity team recently won, I believe that they just won the National Conference in the Suburban League. St. Ed's now in their huddle as we are getting set for the game to start. And before we get to that, let's take this quick timeout on the Eagles Sports Network.
Welcome to today's game. This is Paul Keels, and you know how much I love broadcasting the Buckeyes, but I also love high school sports. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to set a good example and make this a fun and safe experience for the kids involved. I know this game means so much to the players, coaches, and fans, but high school sports are about much more than the wins and losses. They teach life lessons that will be with the players long after their playing days are over. Good luck to both teams, and remember to respect the game.
And welcome back to the Beehive on the campus of Brecksville-Broadview Heights High School. We are just under 30 seconds away from opening tip-off. Before we get into the game, let's go over the starters for both teams. First for the Eagles, number 1, Drew Yursich. Number 5, Nate Yursich. Number 11, Braylon Sullivan. Number 21, Marty McGlynn. And number 23, Luke Vislovsky. And for the Bees out of Brecksville High School, it'll be number 11, Stevie Markovic. Number 21, Michael Dress. Number 23, Luke Sokolowski. Number 24, John Fazioli. And number 12, Will Roderick. St. Ed's in their road green uniforms with the white numbers and the gold trims. Brecksville in their home white uniforms with the red letter and gold trim. Brecksville just coming out of their huddle as we get set to begin this game. St. Ed's going to be going left to right on your screen. Brecksville going to go right to left to take the opening tip. It'll be number 23, Luke Vislovsky for the Eagles. And it looks like it'll be also number 23, Luke Sokolowski. Tip is up and we are underway. It'll be Bees basketball, as that'll be number 12, Roderick with it. He's going to hand it off. Sokolowski with it at the wing. Gives it off to Reed. Reed, he's going to drive in. There's going to be a foul called, and it's going to go on the baseline for the Bees. Inbounded for the Bees. That'll be Fazioli with it. He's going to dish it out to Roderick. Roderick over to Reed. Reed going to drive in, putting it up. No, can't get it to go. Rebounded by the Eagles. Now Braylon Sullivan will bring it up over on the wing. Going to give it off to Nate Yursich. Backing up, gives it to Vislovsky. Back to Yursich. Yursich over to Drew. Drew for 3. No, off the side of the iron. Rebounded by the Bees, and that is Reed with it. Reed going to give it. Oh, it's intercepted by Nate. Nate, he's in a foot race. He's going to put it up underhand and in. Nate Yursich for 2, and the Eagles will go up 2-0 with 5:59 to go in the first. Now the Bees, Fazioli. He's guarded by Sullivan. He's got to give it over the timeline. He's stopped. Passes it up to Roderick. Roderick. Now Dress. Gives it to Reed. Fazioli. Roderick, 3. No. Rebounded by Nate. And the Eagles will get the ball once again. Yursich going to give it off to McGlynn. McGlynn going to drive in. Stops. Loses it. Gives it. Fazioli. on the wing. He's going to drive in, stop putting it up too hard. Rebounded, no good. Rebound by Wisłowski, and the Eagles once again getting a defensive rebound. Now Drew, wide open three, yes! Drew Yursich for three, and the Eagles now lead it 5-0. Fazioli with it, he's going to give it back to Dress. Dress, going to look for Roderick. Taken by the Eagles. Here comes McGlynn to Nate. Nate for three. No, off the side of the iron. That's going to go off the support beam, and that's going to go out of bounds. Brecksville basketball. 4:52 to go. St. Ed's with a 5-0 lead. Now the Bees with it. That's Fazioli with it. He's going to drive in, stop, gives it off to Roderick. Roderick. Bounce pass to Reed for three. Yes! Reed with 3 points, and it is now 5-3. St. Ed still in the lead. Sullivan with it. Going to give it. Looked for Wisłowski. Too hard of a pass, and it's going to go back to the Bees right in front of their bench. And it looked like the Brecksville Bees were going to make some substitutions. No substitutions were made. Bees ball right in front of their bench. Dress. He's guarded by McGlynn. Dress going to look, gets it over the wing, gives it off to Roderick. Roderick, he's going to drive in, stops, looking for something, can't get anything, almost a travel. Reed now looked for Roderick, can't get that one. Now Sullivan with it. Sullivan going to give it over to Drew. Drew, he's going to drive in wide open lane, got it. That's 5 for him, and it is now 7-3. St. Ed's in the lead by 4. Fazioli going to give it to Sokolowski. Now cross-court pass to Roderick. Roderick, no, and there's going to be a double dribble. St. Ed's ball. McGlynn set to inbound. Gets it into Drew. Bees with a heavy pressure on. Now Nate with it. He's going to stop. Gives it to McGlynn. McGlynn going to drive in, putting it up off, no, not off the glass, but he's going to rattle in for McGlynn's first points of the game. 9-3, St. Ed's with the lead. There's going to be a foul on the baseline. Looks like it's going to be against Braylon Sullivan. Substitutions coming in as press. He's going to check. Dress going to check out for Kern. Now the Bees ball on the baseline. Inbounded to Fazioli. Reed. He's going to drive in on the wing. Gets it over to Patrick. Patrick. Back to Reed. Reed. That's going to be stolen, but there's going to be a foul called, and not many Eagles agree with that one. And that foul is going to be against number 21, Marty McGlynn, against the Eagles. Bees are going to have it again. Fazioli with it. He's working up back towards half court. Gets it in to Kern. Kern. Oh, look, he was looking for Reed, but way too hard of a pass, and that's going to go out of bounds. But they're going to say it was tipped off an Eagle. And it's going to be Brecksville ball. Patrick with it. He's guarded by Sullivan. Patrick gets it over the timeline. Gives it over to Kern. Kern to Reed. Reed. Patrick. Kern for three. No, off the side of the rim. Fight for the basketball, and the Bees are going to have it. Putting it up. No, off the front of the rim. Gets his own rebound. Sokolowski with it. He's fighting for the ball. Putting it up. No, gets his own rebound again. Third time's the charm. Sokolowski with 2, and it is now 9-5. St. Ed still in the lead with 2:21. Yursich with it. Gives it off to Drew. Drew going to drive in. Stops. Putting it up. Too hard off the glass. Fight for the basketball. Oh. Wisłowski very powerful on that. He's just kind of chucked Sokolowski to the ground on that one. Luckily, he did a roll through, so it was good. And Wisłowski, he's going to check out. Bowden Grant coming in for the Eagles. 2:11 to go. St. Ed's ball on the baseline. Right in front of all those state championship signs. And another going to be checking in. Eagles with it. McGlynn to Sullivan. Sullivan out to Nate. Nate, he's going to drive in, stops, goes back and gets it out to Sullivan. Sullivan looking for Nate. Nate back out to Drew. Drew going to drive in, gives it to Sullivan. Sullivan to Drew. Drew back out to Grant. Now Nate with it. He's going to drive in, putting it up. Foul. No shot, though. They're going to call the foul before the shot. So no shot being, no. The foul going to be, not too sure who the foul was against. Not a good angle to see what the referee was signing. Grant with it. Going to give it off to Sullivan. Sullivan. He's going to dance in, gives it off to Nate. Nate thought about the three. Gives it out to Grant. Grant for three. No, off the side of the rim. Rebounded by the Bees. Patrick with it. He's going to give it off to Kern. Kern going to drive in. Stops. Back out to Fazioli. Now Sokolowski. High pass right to me. Substitutions being made. Zach Hackelman coming in for Marty McGlynn, and it looks like number 21, Dress, coming back in for Sokolowski. Now St. Ed's ball right in front of me. Zamir Knox into the game. Hackelman also into the game for the Eagles. Nate Yursich with it, getting it over the timeline. Gives it off to Drew. Drew, wide open three. No, off the side of the rim. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by the Bees. Kern with it. Fazioli now. Looking to set up this Bees offense. Patrick now. Back by the Bee at half court. Stolen by Nate. Nate, he's in a foot race. He's going to put it up, and no, too hard. But Knox getting the rebound and putting it up. Time out by the Bees. 11-5, 54.3 seconds to go. Timeout Bees, and it looks like it's going to be a full timeout, so we are going to take this quick timeout on the Eagles Sports Network.
At St. Ed's, students are empowered to grow in their faith, achieve personal excellence, make lifelong friends, and fulfill the virtues of student leadership. No matter who you are, you'll always be empowered to be your best at St. Edward High School. Contact the Office of Admissions at 216-521-2204.
And welcome back to the Beehive on the campus of Brecksville-Broadview Heights High School. St. Ed's in the lead, 11-5, 54.3 seconds to go. Brecksville ball on the baseline right underneath the St. Ed's hoop. Getting it in. Fazioli now with it. He's guarded by Drew Yursich. Cross-court pass to Kern. Kern going to give it off to Dress. Dress going to drive in, stops, gets it back out to Patrick. Patrick, 41 seconds now. Kern with it. Kern going to put it up, floater, got it. Kern with two. That's his first of the game. 11-7, St. Ed's with the ball. Now back out to Nate. Nate, three from the top of the arc. No, off the side of the rim. Rebounded by Zamir Knox. Knox going to drive in, gives it to Nate Yursich, but it's going to be stolen by the Bees. Patrick now with it. Fazioli looking to set up this offense, looking to get the last shot of the quarter. 10 seconds to go. Dress now with it. 5 seconds left. Kern going to drive in. 2 seconds. One, putting it up and in. Kern's going to get 4 before the end of the quarter, and it is 11-9. St. Ed's with the lead at the end of 1. So with that, we're going to take a quick timeout on the Eagles Sports Network.
Here at Joyce Buick GMC, our lot is beginning to get full again.
The selection of new Buicks and GMCs is the best it's been for a long time. and we have many great GMC certified vehicles here and ready for delivery.
Come to Joyce Buick GMC now for great buys on new Buicks and GMCs.
Or a GM certified used SUV or truck.
Come see why we say,
drive Joyce, your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC, Chester Road, Avon.
And welcome back to the Beehive. 11-9 our score as we get set for the second quarter of action. I'm Chris Mendoza, glad to have you along as we are here for Game 2 of a St. Ed's Brecksville triple header. The freshman team getting the 52-51 win over the Bees, and coming up later tonight, I believe, tip-off at 7:30, the Brecksville Bees and the St. Edward Eagles get set for the varsity matchup. Two of the top teams in the state of Ohio. St. Ed's looking to avenge the loss from last year, as they will be on the road against Brecksville. It'll be Brecksville basketball right in front of me. Reed set to inbound it for the Bees. JT Kelsheimer checking in for the Eagles. Oh, but it's going to be stolen by Hackelman. No, fight for the basketball. Picked up by the Bees. Sokolowski with it. He's going to give it off to Reed. Reed going to look for Sokolowski, but stolen by the Eagles. Drew Yursich with it. Top of the arc, he's going to drive in, gets it to JT. JT out to Hackelman. Hackelman to Drew. Drew marking it back towards half court, looking to get a pick. Gets it to Knox. Knox, he's going to drive in, stops. Over to Kelsheimer. Kelsheimer over to Vislovsky. Vislovsky going to drive in. Knox, fake the three, driving in, stops. Oh, and there's going to be a foul as he passed that to Luke Vislovsky, and Vislovsky going to go to the line. Now Vislovsky to the line for two. No, rattles in and out, and there's going to be substitutions made for the Bees, as that'll be number 10, Kern, coming back in for the Bees, and he'll be coming in for Reed. Vislovsky, his second attempt at the line, perfect. Vislovsky, his first point of the game. 12-9, St. Ed's with the lead. Now the Bees facing heavy pressure. Markovic going to give it to Sokolowski. Putting it up, no. Rebounded by Vislovsky. Now Hackelman. Fast-paced offense by the Eagles. Hackelman with it. He's guarded by Markovic. Kelsheimer now with it. Kelsheimer over to Vislovsky. Vislovsky out to Drew. Drew, three ball. No, off the side of the rim. Rebounded by Markovic. Oh, now stolen by Knox. Knox getting it into Drew. Drew cross-court looked for Hackelman. Must have lost him in the traffic, and that's going to go out of bounds. Brecksville basketball substitutions. Nate Yursich coming in for Drew. And it looks like also number 15, Reed, going to be coming in for Dress. Brecksville Bees basketball right in front of the state championship signs. Dean with it. He's going to drive in, looking to go coast to coast. Oh, and that's going to be swatted by Vislovsky. But the Bees going to get it back. Reed gives it over to Dean. Dean behind the back, gives it over to Kern. Kern going to drive in, stops, almost a travel. Back to Dean on the outside. No travel going to be called. Brecksville still with possession of the basketball. Dean getting it back, and it's going to be tipped, so Dean's going to be able to get that in the backcourt. He's guarded by Nate Yursich. Sokolowski looking for Kern. No travel. No foul, but then there's a foul afterwards. Looks like it's going to be called against Zamir Knox. And the foul going to be against Zamir Knox. His first on the day, St. Ed's fourth team foul. Brecksville basketball. Reed inbounding it to Dean. Dean stops. dishes it out, putting it up and in. That's Markovic, his first two, 12-11. Brecksville back in this game. Kelsheimer with it. Gonna put it up, almost no foul called, rebounded by Reed, and now the Bees with the ball. Dean gonna bring it up the court. We got a timeout as it looks like Reed got hit somewhere you don't want to. Based on his body language, it looks like he got hit really where you don't want to be hit ever if you're a guy. So we're going to have an injury timeout. Bees basketball, Dean with it. Sokolowski now. Back out to Dean. Dean back into Sokolowski, putting it up and in. Sokolowski, 4 points for him, and the Bees take their first lead of the night, 13-12, 4:06 to go here in the first half. JT Kelsheimer with it. He's going to work it up. Bees also pressing. A lot of pressing in this game. Tipped over to looking for Nate Yursich, but it's going to be stolen by the Bees. Dean with the basketball. Dean back. Wing three, thought about it, didn't take it. Oh, and he's going to be tripped up. Back out. Now he's giving it to Sokolowski. Putting it up. No, and there's going to be a foul called. 2 shots for Sokolowski. And it looks like it's going to be against Zach Heckelman of the Eagles. 13-12, Brecksville with the lead, 3:40 to go. Sokolowski, his first trip to the line. He's already got 4 points on the day. First shot is in. Substitutions, Braylon Sullivan checking back in for JT Kelsheimer. And Fazioli, he's going to be checking in for Markovic. Now Sokolowski, his second trip to the line. No, off the back iron, rebounded by the Eagles. Brian Velasic with it. Velasic, he's going to drive in, underhand, got it. Velasic ties it up for the Eagles, 14 all, the first tie of the game outside of the opening 0-0. Now looking for the steal. Cross-court pass to Dress. Dress going to put it up, no. Rebounded by McGlynn, but they're going to say he was out of bounds on the baseline. Turnover once again. Brecksville ball as Roderick checking in for Dress. Brecksville basketball. Sokolowski inbounding it to Kern. Kern looked for Sokolowski off the head of Velasic, right to a B. Now Dean with it. Dean gets it over to Kern. Kern for three. Yes! Kern, 7 points on the day. 17-14. Time out. Timeout called by the Bees. And with that timeout, we're going to take a quick timeout of our own on the Eagles Sports Network.
Being insane has just taught me how to become a leader and how to talk when I feel like I need to talk and say the things that I need to say.
Like, we call for leadership. Like, I know I have these talents, but I'm just gonna like kind of sit back and just let everything happen. Like, now I'm gonna step up and make it happen.
And I think Eds does one of the best jobs around of allowing a person to make their own path here. If you want to be an individual that has an impact in this community, you have all the resources to do so. Wow, this place wants me to be something great.
And welcome back to the Beehive. 17-14, Bees with the lead. 2:55 to go here in the second quarter. Chris Mendoza here, glad to have you along as this is some JV basketball. Braylon Sullivan to inbound for the Eagles on the baseline to my left. Nate Yursich, he's going to sprint up the court. He's being double teamed. Gets it to Sullivan. Sullivan to Vislavsky. Vislavsky cross court to Velasic for three. No, off the rim, rebounded by Reed. Kern with it. Kern, he's guarded by Velocic. Kern gonna drive in, gives it out to Fazioli. Fazioli gonna drive in, stops. Gets it out to Reed. Reed gonna be poked away, but a very late foul. Wow. Very late foul. The foul was called as soon as Wisławski picked up the basketball. That foul gonna be called against Wisławski, I believe. Wow. Very late call. Sokolowski, 3. No, can't get it to fall. Rebounded by the Bees, stolen by the Eagles. Drew Jurcic. He's going to drive in, stops, gets it out to Sullivan. Sullivan to Nate. Nate going to drive in, stops, putting it up off the side of the backboard. No, rebounded by Fazioli. Gets it over to Roderick. Roderick, step back, 3. No. Rebounded by Sullivan. Sullivan to Nate. Nate in a foot race, putting it up. No, can't get it to go. Rebounded by the Bees. And there's going to be a foul, a holding call. No jump ball called. And that foul going to be called against Braylon Sullivan, his second foul on the night. And now substitutions, McGlynn checking in. McGlynn and Knox checking into the game for the Eagles for Wisławski and Velocic. Sokolowski, he's going to check out for the Bees. Roderick to the line. His 1-and-1 is good. Roderick, his first of the game, and is now 18-14. Brecksville with the lead. Substitutions once again. Hackelman coming in for Braylon Sullivan. So now his second attempt on the 1-and-1. Roderick. Yes, he's 2 of 2 at the line. Substitutions, Dean gonna come back in for Roderick. 19-14, a minute 43 to go here in the first half. Knox set to inbound it for the Eagles. Brecksville going with their man press. Hackelman with it. He's gonna be sprinting up the court. He's gonna be met by a swarm of Bees. Gets it out to Nate. Nate over to Drew. Drew, 3. No! Rattles in the rim, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Dean, and the Bees are back in business. Dishes it out to Dress. Dress, cross court, pass to Fazioli. No, off the side of the rim. Rebounded by McGlynn. McGlynn gonna be sprinting up the court, gives it off to Hackelman. Hackelman out to Nate, and the Eagles offense will reset. Nate, he's gonna drive in, putting it up. No, too hard off the glass, rebounded by Fazioli. Now McGlynn getting the steal. McGlynn putting it up, and there's going to be a foul called. 2 shots. And that's going to be called against, I believe, number 15, Reed. I believe that's what the foul is going to be called on. 2 shots for McGlynn, 53.9 seconds to go. Eagles down by 5. McGlynn, his first trip to the line. Putting it up. No, rattles in and out. And that's been the story for the Eagles thus far in the second quarter. They're getting the shots, just rattling in and out of the rim. McGlynn, his second trip, his second shot. Puts it up. No, rattles in and out again, just like I said, but rebounded by Knox. And there's going to be yet another foul by the Bees. This one going to be a baseline foul. Going to be against Kern, his first of the day. Now Kern going to be checked out for Sokolowski, the big man wearing 23. Inbounded to Hackelman. Hackelman to Drew. To Nate. Nate deep 3. Got it! Nate Jurcic with 5, and the Eagles are back in this 19-16. The Bees in business. Dress getting it over to Dean. Dean cross court 3 by Fazioli, and that's going to be blocked by Zamir Knox. Bees basketball on the baseline. Dress to inbound. Getting it in, stolen, no, almost intercepted. And it's going to go towards the Eagles. There's going to be a foul against Roderick for the push. His second foul on the day, at least that's what I have. 2 fouls for him. Zamir Knox to inbound right in front of me. The Bees once again in their man-on-man press. Nate Yursich with it. Nate gonna get the pick by Knox. Putting it up, stopper, no. Almost got that wedged, and that is going to be out of bounds. I believe it is going to be Brecksville basketball. The ref was right in front of me, couldn't really see it. And it will be Brecksville basketball. (19-17) our score, 13.1 seconds to go here in the first half. Dean with it. Eagles going to double team him behind the line. Oh, and there's going to be a block. Oh, man. Let's see who the foul is going to be against. Number 5, Nate Yursich being called with the block. 5.9 seconds to go. 19-17. That's going to send Dean to the line for 2. Or 1-and-1 situation. Dean going to the line. Velocic. He's going to check in for Nate Yursich. Kind of a bit of confusion on the Eagles side. But Velocic did check in for Nate Yursich. 5.9 seconds to go. Eagles down by 2. Dean, his first one. Got it off the back of the rim. Dean, his first point of the game. And it is now a 4-point game. His second shot on the 1-and-1. Dean puts it up and no, rattles in and out. Rebounded by Nate Yursich. 3 seconds to go. Hackelman, 2, 1. Got to put up a shot. Hackelman almost got it. And we're going to go to halftime with the Eagles down 20-17 against the Bees. And we're going to take this quick timeout on the Eagles Sports Network.
Attention alumni, Eagle Connect is your one-stop shop for all things St. Ed's. Whether you're looking to reconnect with classmates, professionally network, catch a live stream broadcast, or want to flip through your digital yearbook catalog, Eagle Connect has you covered. Sign up today at sehsconnect.net.
For every just one more mile to your next ace on the court. When you have a sports-related injury, Cleveland Clinic is here for them all. For our Cavaliers, our Guardians, and athletes at all levels. Our team helps keep you in the game. As the best orthopedic care in Ohio, we offer expert diagnosis, personalized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries. For every injury, for every athlete, for every care in the world. Schedule your care today.
At Joyce Buick GMC, we're receiving truckloads of new vehicles.
Check out our great selection of new and certified used cars and trucks.
For over 50 years, people have come from near and far.
For the best sales and service experience.
See us today for the lowest prices and great selection in stock.
And that's why people say,
Drive Joyce, your friends and neighbors, Dale.
Joyce Buick GMC, Chester Road, Avon.
The St. Ed's Alumni Association is once again proud to sponsor the live stream broadcasts of your St. Edward Eagles. The Alumni Association acts as a liaison between alumni and the school while fostering moral, spiritual, and financial support for the continued growth of St. Edward High School. Together, we are St. Ed's.
Check 1, 2. Okay.
But we got to make sure we switch it.
It is halftime from the Eagles' Nest. St. Ed's currently down 20-17 against the Bees. And before we get back into the game, let's go over some scores from the first half. Drew Yershich finished the first half with 5 points. Nate Yershich with 5. Velasic with 2. Knox with 2. McGlynn with 2. And Wisłowski with 1. For the Bees, Kern with 7. Markovic with 2. Roderick with 2. Reeser, number 15 is Reeser with 3, and number 23, Sokolowski with 5, and number 2, Dean with 1. St. Ed's led the game at the end of the first quarter, 11-9, but then the Brecksville Bees came up and scored 11 points in the second quarter, outscoring the Eagles 11-6, leading it now 20-17 as we get set for the second half of action. First half starters coming out for the Eagles. Luke Wisłowski set to inbound it right in front of me. It'll be Eagles ball going right to left. Brecksville will be going left to right. Wisłowski set to inbound it.
Here we go, man.
Wisłowski looking to inbound it. Gets it stolen by the Bees. Bradrick with it. And the Bees going to set up shop. Reeser. Reeser, he's guarded by McGlynn. Gets it out to Fazioli. Fazioli. Back to Roderick. Roderick. To Reeser. Reeser. Cross-court pass to Fazioli. Now back out to Dress. Dress. Stops at the top of the arc. He's going to drive in. Dishes it out to Sokolowski for 3. Got it! Sokolowski for 3. 23-16, Brecksville with the lead. Nate Yurshich with the ball. Yurshich, Drew, gonna give it off to McGlynn. McGlynn, gonna drive in, dishes it out to Nate. Nate out to Drew. Drew, 3, fakes it, putting it up and in. Drew Yurshich with 7 points on the night. And it is now 23-18, St. Ed's with the lead. Roderick with it, dishing it out. 3 ball, no, off the side of the rim, rebounded by Vezlovsky. Fight for the ball though, putting it up, no, Duart off the glass, another rebound Vezlovsky, and there's gonna be a holding foul. Foul gonna be called against number 23, Sokolowski, I believe, going to be called on that one, and it will be Sokolowski being called with the foul. McGlynn gets it into Nate Yurshich. Bees with their man-on-man press as they've been doing all game. Drew Yurshich with it. Drew gets it over to McGlynn. McGlynn back out to Sullivan. Sullivan driving in, gets it out to McGlynn. McGlynn going to drive in, putting it up and in. McGlynn gets that one to fall. That's 4 for him. 23-23, 23-21. 2-point game. Now the Bees with it. Reeser. Gonna give it over to Dress. Dress on the wing. Gonna drive in. Giving it to Sokolowski. Putting it. No. Rebounded by McGlynn, and the Eagles are back with it. Sullivan stops. 3. Rattles in and out. The story of the second quarter for the Eagles. The ball rattling in and out. The Bees going to try and take advantage of that. Roderick, 3. Off the rim. No. Fight for the basketball. Fazioli putting it. Foul called, as it looks like Roderick just kind of chucked it up there. Almost got stuck on the top of the hoop with the support beams. But nonetheless, it'll be Roderick to the line. St. Ed's going to be called for the foul. Roderick to the line for 2. Putting it up and in. Roderick is perfect at the line so far. 3-point game. Hackelman checking in for Nate Yurshich. Roderick, 3 points on the night, all 3 coming from the charity stripe. Can he make it 4? He can. 4 for 4 at the line. 25-21. St. Ed's down. McGlynn with the ball. He's going to drive in. Dishing it out to Hackelman. Hackelman over to Drew. Drew gets it to Vezlovsky. Vezlovsky to Hackelman. Hackelman to Braylon. Sullivan. 3. No, off the back of the rim. Rebounded by the fight for the basketball. St. Ed's ball as it was last touched by a Bee. Drew Yurshich set to inbound on the baseline. Hackelman gets it to Sullivan. Sullivan gonna give it to Drew. Drew wide open wing 3. No, off the side of the rim. Rebounded by McGlynn, however. McGlynn gonna put it up, and a foul gonna be called. And that looks like it's gonna be on Roderick. And it will be called on Roderick. That's his second. And that's going to send Marty McGlynn to the line for 2. McGlynn on the night, 4 points. None from the charity stripe, however. Zamir Knox set to check in along with Reeser and Dean for the Bees. 4:02 to go. Brecksville leading at 25-21. McGlynn, his first shot at the line, is up and good. McGlynn, 5 points. Knox checking in for Vezlovsky. Reeser and Dean checking in for Roderick and Dress. And Fazioli, he's going to be checking out as well for Kern. Now McGlynn, his second shot at the line, is off the side of the rim, rebounded by the Bees. As now it is going to be Bees basketball. Markovic with it. He's going to drive in, giving it to Sokolowski. Dishing it out. Bees with it. Kern gonna drive in. Stops. Gonna be poked away by Knox. Fight for the basketball. Hackelman's gonna win it. Gives it to Sullivan. Sullivan, underhand foul gonna be called. And that looks like it's gonna be against Dean. 2 shots for Braylon Sullivan. And yes, it will be called against Dean. That's his first foul on the night. 3:41 to go here in the third. St. Ed's down by 3. Braylon Sullivan to the line for 2. And it looks like Brian Velasic set to check in for the Eagles. 2 shots for Sullivan, his first. No off the back rim. Actually, that's going to be Bowden Grant checking in for Marty McGlynn. Sullivan on the day, no points. However, he has 2 fouls. Sullivan, his second attempt at the line. 0 for 1. Puts it up, and off the back rim, rebounded by Hackelman, however. Hackelman gonna dish it out to Drew. Drew to Braylon. Sullivan. Hackelman at the top of the arc, gonna drive in, putting it up off the rim, gets his own rebound, gives it to Drew. Drew for 3, got it! Drew Yershitz, 10 points, and the Eagles down by 1 now. Timeout, Brecksville. Oh no, timeout St. Ed's. And with that timeout, we're going to take one of our own here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Being in St. Ed's has taught me how to become a leader and how to talk when I feel like I need to talk and say the things that I need to say.
Like, we call for leadership. Like, I know I have these talents, but I'm just gonna like kind of sit back and just let everything happen. Like, now I'm gonna step up and make it happen.
And I think Ed's does one of the best jobs around of allowing a person to make their own path here. If you want to be an individual that has an impact in this community, you have all the resources to do so. Wow, like this place wants me to be something great.
And welcome back to the Beehive. St. Ed's tied with the Bees, 25 all. Brecksville gonna get set to inbound. This is the second tie outside of our opening 0-0 tie. And now the Bees inbounding it. St. Ed's going with their man-on-man press. Dean with it. He's gonna be guarded by Drew Yursich. Dean now picked up by Sullivan. Picked away by Sullivan. Sullivan gonna take the easy 2. Braylon Sullivan with 2, and the Eagles take back their lead, 27-25. Oh, and stolen by Bowden Grant, picked up by Knox. Knox gonna put up the floater and got it. Zamir Knox with 4, and the Eagles are hot. Time out, Brecksville. Quick 4 points in a matter of 10 seconds for the Eagles. Full time out. So let's just go over what just happened for those of you who are just joining us on the Eagles Sports Network. St. Ed's came out of a timeout. Brecksville had the ball underneath the baseline. It was given into Dean. Dean got it stolen by Sullivan. Sullivan got the easy layup too, and then inbounded again as the Eagles were pressuring these Bees. And then it was stolen by Zamir Knox, and he put up the putback for 2 and a quick 4 points within 10 seconds for the Eagles. 29-25, St. Ed's with the lead once again, 2:59 to go. Brecksville now, St. Ed's has just came out of their timeout. Brecksville still in their huddle. As there's the second horn. And now Brecksville just now breaking their huddle as the refs seem to be getting a little impatient. Not too much to worry about, but a little bit impatient. As it'll be Reeser inbounding it for the Brecksville Bees. He's going to be guarded by Knox. Eagles once again going with their man-to-man press. Getting it in. Dean with it. Dean almost traveled. No travel going to be called. Dean getting it to Reeser. Reeser, that's going to be stolen by Knox, but a foul is going to be called. And it looks like it's going to be a reach-in. Yeah, foul going to be called against Zamir Knox. That's 2 for him. And the Bees are going to inbound it to my right. Reeser to inbound. Gets it into Sokolowski. Now the Bees back in business in their Beehive. Fazioli with it on the wing. He's going to drive in, gives it off to Sokolowski for 3. No, off the side of the rim, rebounded by Zamir Knox. And there's going to be a foul called. Contact, and it's going to go towards the Eagles still with the ball. And that foul going to be called against Reeser. That's his second foul on the night. Zamir Knox to inbound it. Bees also going with their man-to-man pressure. Knox getting it back, gives it over to Drew. Drew gonna dish it out to Hackelman. Hackelman gonna reset this Eagle offense. Hackelman gonna drive in, putting it up. No rebound, he gets his own rebound, dishes it out to Drew for three. Yes! Drew Yursich, 13 points on the night, 32-25, St. Ed's with a 7-point lead. Fazioli with it, gets it back out to Dean. Dean, Reeser now, three ball, got it. That's a three by Kern. That's 10 for him, and it is now 32-28, St. Ed's. Bowden Grant with it. Gonna dish it out to Knox. Knox. Yursich to Hackelman. Hackelman gonna set up this Eagle offense. Hackelman gonna give it off to Sullivan. Sullivan gonna drive in, gives it to Knox. Knox fakes the three. Knox gonna drive in. No foul called. Out of bounds. Brecksville basketball. No foul called. A lot of contact on that one. But the referee is saying no foul is going to be given. No foul. No harm, no foul. Dress will inbound it for the Bees. Dress, he's going to chuck it. Oh, to wide open Dean. That's just like, oh, and a block by Hackelman. That was a quarterback to receiver throw, and Hackelman just came in and absolutely swatted that. That looked like a Lucas Perusek swat. Oh, my. Sokolowski with it. He's going to drive in the big man. No, rebounded by Hackelman. Hackelman going to bring it up and set up this Eagle offense. Up 7 with a minute. Actually, up 4 with a minute 20 to go. Bowden Grant putting it up for 2. Eagles still with a lead. Dean with it. And there's going to be a foul called, and it looks like it's going to be against Hackelman. And it will be against Zach Hackelman. That's his second foul on the night. Eagles with a 6-point lead, a minute 10 to go here in the third. The Beehive starting to fill up with Eagle fans and Brecksville fans as we have a good matchup coming up for you between St. Ed's and Brecksville on the varsity side. Two of the top teams in the state of Ohio going to duel it out in the Beehive. But right now we have JV basketball as Dean has it under a minute to go in the third quarter, and there's going to be a foul called, contact, and a lot of questionable calls by this referee crew, and that's going to be called against Sullivan. I don't even think Sullivan was near that play. But nonetheless, it's going to be called on Sullivan. Kind of shocked on that one. A lot of questionable calls. Kern set to inbound it for the Bees. Going to get it into Sokolowski. Almost broken up by Grant. Dress with it at the top of the arc. Gets it over to Kern. Kern going to look to do something with it. Going to spin move. Putting it up. Almost swatted. Oh, and another foul. Oh, my. And that's going to be against Sullivan. Even Sullivan's questioning that call. Sullivan's going to be called with the block. Wow. Sullivan, 4 fouls already. Oh, my. Oh, my. Kern going to go to the line for 2. Bees down 6. Putting it up off the back of the iron. Velocic going to check in for Sullivan as Sullivan still can't believe it. Kern with 10 points tonight. He's 0-1 at the charity stripe, looking to make it 1-1. And he doesn't. He's 0-2, rebounded by Knox. Knox, he's absolutely sprinting up the court. Knox going to give it off to Grant. Grant dishes it out to Hackelman. Hackelman going to look to get this offense going, dishing it out to Knox. Knox going to reset, look to get possibly the last shot of the quarter, 25 seconds to go. Hackelman now. Going to get the pick by Grant. Going to get it out to Knox. Knox to Grant. Bowden Grant for 3. Yes! Bowden Grant, 5 points for him. St. Ed's with a 9-point lead, 10 seconds to go. Now Dean with it. He's going to be double teamed by the Eagles. Oh, and Knox, he's going to get it. 5 seconds. And he's going to lay it up. Zamir Knox, 6 points to close out this third quarter. 39-28. And with that, we're going to take this quick timeout on the Eagles Sports Network.
Attention alumni, Eagle Connect is your one-stop shop for all things St. Ed's. Whether you're looking to reconnect with classmates, professionally network, catch a live stream broadcast, or want to flip through your digital yearbook catalog, Eagle Connect has you covered. Sign up today at sehsconnect.net.
And welcome back to the Beehive. St. Ed's with a 9-point lead, 39-28. Currently leading over the Brecksville Bees as both teams are still in their quarter timeout as we get set for the fourth quarter of action. 7 minutes on the clock. The Bees have some work to do to get back into this one. Let's go over quarter by quarter scores. St. Ed's 11-9 at the end of the first. At the end of the second quarter, Brecksville took a 20-17 lead, but the Eagles able to hold them to just 8 points in the third quarter as they take a 39-28 lead as we get set for this fourth quarter of action. Up next for the Eagles, we will be taking on the Spartans out of Richmond Heights at the Eagles Nest. And next up for the Bees, they will be hosting the Bears out of North Royalton here at the Beehive. Both teams set to wrap up their JV seasons, but their varsity teams getting ready for the playoffs as both these top teams at least on varsity in the state gonna clash here at the Beehive. But before that, we have some JV basketball, and the Bees gonna get the ball to start the fourth quarter. Dress, he's gonna have it at the top of the court. Gonna look for Sokolowski. Gets it off to Fazioli. Fazioli gonna drive in, dishing it out to Dean. Dean fakes the three. Putting it, tipped away, picked up by the Eagles. Vizlovsky gonna give it back to Hackelman. Hackelman gonna chuck it to Grant. Grant for three. Got it. Bowden Grant, 8 points. He has exploded lately in the second half. 42-28, St. Ed's with the lead. Now the Bees going to be swarmed by the Eagles and picked off by Vizlovsky. Now Nate laying it up. Oh, too soft. Not enough force on that one, and he had an easy two, but couldn't get it to go. Now Dean with it. He's got to get it over the timeline, and he does. He's guarded by Velasic. Dean gonna drive in, stops, and there's gonna be a walk. He packed his bags and went traveling. St. Ed's gonna get the ball back. 6:01 to go. Bees making some substitutions. Markovic gonna check in for Dean, and Roderick gonna check in for the Bees. No substitutions on the Eagles side. I don't think they need to, as they are up 42-28 with 6:01 to go here in the game, left in the game. Nate Yursic's going to get the inbound. He's going to be swarmed by Bees. Yurcic dishes it to Hackelman. Hackelman gets to reset the offense. Gets it over to Nate. Nate out to Knox. Knox thought about the three. Putting it up and in. Zamir Knox, 8 points already. 44-28, St. Ed's in the lead. Markovic with it. He's going to sprint over half court, dishing it out. That's going to be Sokolowski, the big man, getting his 10th point on the day. 44-30, 14-point lead for St. Ed's. Zamir Knox with it. Knox, he's just going to give it off to Vizlovsky. Vizlovsky going to lay it up and in. Luke Vizlovsky with 3 points. His first outside of the charity stripe. Dress with it. He's going to be guarded by Knox. Dress gets it over to Fazioli. Now Dean, it looks like. No, Fazioli going to get it back. 3, too hard. Rebounded. And there's going to be a foul. It's going to go back to Brecksville, and it's going to be against Zamir Knox. Not too sure what the foul was going to be called on. Potentially a push-off. And it looks like Drew Yurcic, he's going to be checking in for Brian Velasic. 4:51, and it looks like Marty McGlynn also going to be checking in for Zamir Knox. Bees basketball right under their basket. Going to get into Sokolowski. Fazioli with it. Going around. Loses it. Picked up by Hackelman. Hackelman going to chuck it to Drew. Drew going to dish it out to McGlynn. McGlynn thought about the three. No walking called, but doesn't matter. Turnover by the Eagles. Fazioli, cross-court pass to Dress. Dress gonna give it. Oh, he looked for Markovic. too hard of a pass, and that's going to go for St. Ed's. McGlynn set to inbound it. Substitutions made. Kern going to check in for Sokolowski, the big man. McGlynn inbounds to Jursic. Drew with it. Drew gonna drive up. He's gonna be met by Bees, but it doesn't matter. There's gonna be a foul. Wow, contact. Very little contact, it looked like, at least from right here. Foul gonna be called against number 11, I believe. Couldn't see the second digit, but I believe it's gonna be number 11, Markovic, being called with the foul. McGlynn set to inbound it to just off my left, actually. McGlynn gets it into Drew, or to Nate Jursic, actually. Nate to Drew. Drew to Hackelman. Hackelman picked by Luke. Now gets it off the roll, but can't hold on to it. Rebounded by the Bees. Patrick with it. Patrick stops, guarded by Drew Jursic. 4 minutes to go, down by 16. Eagles up by 16. Out of bounds, St. Ed's ball. Sullivan checking back into the game for Zach Hackelman. Hackelman, no points, but he has been a key contributor on the St. Ed's defense. McGlynn to inbound to Nate. And the Bees going with their man-on-man press. They've been doing that all game, and it's been working so far. Jursic to Wisławski. Wisławski to Sullivan. Sullivan, he's going to lose his footing, but regains it, gives it off to Drew. Drew to Sullivan. Sullivan, wide open three. Yes! Braylon Sullivan, 5 points, and the Eagles will go up 49-30, a 19-point lead. Roderick with it. He's guarded by Drew Jursic. Now gets it off to Patrick. Patrick gonna drive in, putting it up. No foul called. Rebounded McGlynn. McGlynn with it. Gonna drive in, putting it up. No foul called. A lot of contact at the hoop. And it looks like Bowden Grant and Ivor Anderson checking in for the Eagles. They're gonna be checking in for Luke Wisławski and Marty McGlynn. Wisławski, 3 points. McGlynn, 5 points as they check out. Anderson getting his first minutes of the game. Patrick with it. He's guarded by Drew Jursic. Patrick, he's going to drive up, stops. Going to get the pick. Still got the basketball. Gives it over to Kern. Kern, top of the arc three, just threw that up there. Too hard off the glass. Rebounded Sullivan, and he's going to give that to Drew, who's in a foot race. Loses the ball, picked up by Bowden Grant. Grant to Nate Jursic. Nate going to set up this Eagle offense. Going to give it over to Drew. Drew to Anderson. Anderson to Sullivan. Sullivan dishes it out to Drew for three. No, off the side of the rim. Rebounded by Anderson, and Anderson going to get the easy putback for two, and the Eagles now with a 21-point lead. Bees with the basketball. Patrick with it. He's going to give it off to Kern. Kern going to drive in, putting it up the floater. Too hard off the back of the iron. Rebounded by Nate Jursic. Jursic going to give it to Grant. Grant driving in, dishes it out to Anderson. Anderson missed the three, but there's going to be a charge called on Anderson. Anderson, his first foul of the game. 1:51 to go. St. Ed's up 51-30. 21-point lead for the Eagles, and now Coach Sweeney is going to clear the bench. Aiden Butler coming in. Now the Bees with the basketball. No, rebounded by the Eagles. Rebounded by Bowden Grant. Gets it off to Butler. Butler gives it out to Danny Ottiger. Danny into Hess. Hess gives it back to Danny. Danny to Ivor. Anderson driving in and got it. Ivor Anderson with 4, and the Eagles 53-30, 23-point lead. The Bees with the basketball. That's Carson Zabakor. 3-ball. Got it by Vohida. 53-33, 20-point lead for the Eagles. Aiden Butler with it. Butler just checking in, under a minute to go. He's going to be tripped up, and there's going to be simultaneous fouls called for the push. And that foul is going to be called against number 3, Carson Zabakor. .7 to go, 20-point lead for the Eagles. Sideline inbound right in front of the St. Ed's bench. Danny Oettinger set to inbound it for the Eagles. Gets it into Butler. Oh no, he's got it tipped off the arm of a Bee, and the Bees are going to have it back. 3-ball is no good. Rebounded by Anderson. Tipped it up to himself. Gets it off to Butler. Butler going to drive in, putting it up. No, too hard. Rebounded Anderson. Loose ball. Gets it back. Anthony Noor with that one. Now Danny Oettinger gets it to Anderson. Anderson going to drive in. Yes, Ivor Anderson, 6 points. 55-33, St. Ed's with the lead. Now Zabakor with it. He's going to drive in, putting it up. A lot of contact, no foul. Rebounded by Noor. Noor with the basketball. And the Eagles are going to take this one 55-33. The Eagles are winners again. They move to 18-2 on the year. Let's go over the final scoring stats for both teams. First for the Eagles, Drew Yershich, 13 points. Nate Yershich, 5 points. Braylon Sullivan, 5 points. Brian Velasic with 2. Zamir Knox with 8. Marty McGlynn with 5. Ivor Anderson with 6. Luke Veslavsky with 3. And Bowden Grant finished the game with 8 points. And for the Brecksville Bees, Vohida finished with 3. Kern finished with 10 points. Tied for leading all scorers for the Bees. Markovic finished with 2. Roderick with 4. Reeser with 3. Sokolowski also tied for 10. And Dean finished with 1. Final score once again, Eagles 55-33. Coming up next, the varsity matchup between two of the top teams in the state. Brecksville, St. Ed's. St. Ed's looks to avenge their loss. I'm Chris Mendoza. Thank you for joining us on the Eagles Sports Network.